Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Patrick, I am the king of cars. Today we'll be going up north to Fuel Fed Open in Lake Forest, Illinois. It's going to be a great show with amazing cars and amazing people. And then we're going to go hypercar hunting after that. Not sure what we're going to see. It is raining right now, but it's going to be a great time and I hope you stick around. Quick fuel stop in the daily. We'll also be tagging along with our friend Ricky and his Audi A3. So that'll be fun. But yeah, I think we're wrapping up here and it's time to head up north. We've arrived at the Fuel Fed Open and there are some pretty cool cars here right now. I know a lot more are going to show up. Not sure what though because of the weather, but I wanted to start off with this. This is a Ferrari F355 GTS, one of only 2,048 made in the Targa variant, which this is. This isn't Rosso Corsa. I think it's Fiorano. I'm not entirely certain on that, but of course it's got the gated manual. It's so cool. It's a really interesting spec. A lot of these cars were opted as a Spider and then not as many were opted as coupe, but this one is the rarest in the form of the GTS. And I don't think I've seen one of these in a really long time, if ever. So it's really cool to see this here today at the Fuel Fed Open. Another car I wanted to mention was this brown 911 SC with the black Fuchs wheels. This car is really cool. I'm not a huge fan of brown cars, but this car works. The brown with the tan interior. Also, if you own a car like this, if somebody tells you to touch grass, just go for a drive. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I completely ran out of things to say about this car. And yeah, about this car too. But speaking of 911s, I wanted to show you this Beetle. It's really cool that he has the Forza D100 class sticker as well as the Hoonigan sticker, playing into how freaking slow this car is, but it's also really cool. Also cool is that DB9 right there. I've always had a huge soft spot for Astons, and the DB9 is showing to be quite good value for money when it comes to exotics at an entry-level price. There's a lot of noise going on right now, but a lot of cars are starting to pull in. Defenders, there's an MG and a Mercedes E-Class wagon. A lot of cool cars showing up, and I'm sure there will be a lot more. Continuing on with Porsches, we have these two gorgeous G-bodies, one in blue, one in silver. Don't know what the names of the colors are. Both of these have the Fuchs wheels, and I do like these. This one's a Targa, that one's an SC, I think. It's got some turbo goodies on it. Porsche guys, do let me know if I'm wrong. But yeah, lots of 911s coming to these Fuel Fed meets, and all of them are really, really nice. Also, we got this 928, which for me is one of my favorite Porsches of all time because, I mean, it's essentially a V8 Grand Tour with Porsche engineering, and I love these cars so much. I would like to have one day. It's not high on my list, but it's really, really cool. For the ecologically minded people, we also have a great EV presence at this show in the form of a V8 Porsche Cayenne. Continuing on with the Porsche theme, we have this really nice black Boxster Spider with a red interior and the carbon ceramic brakes. Also have this really nice E36 M3 in red, which is the best color for an E36. One thing that Fuel Fed people excel at is really fun plates. We have My Sweetie on the Volvo Amazon. We also have this really nice Ferrari 348 TS in white with a black interior. It is a gated manual car. The TS is the Targa version of the 348. It's a really cool car. It makes a little bit less than 300 horsepower, but it's a really cool driving experience from what I've been able to see from people who actually have these things. A lot of styling cues from the Testarossa as well. It's really cool. I love Ferraris in white. I think white is one of the best colors for Ferraris. Just pulling in now is this E63 wagon. These things are insanely cool. Big V8, obviously in the wagon. D badge, which I think is really cool. I would probably do that with an AMG wagon as well, just because it's a complete sleeper. Nobody expects these cars to be fast, but they are very, very fast, and even cooler as well. I keep saying the word cool, I think. So sorry about that, but it is a really cool wagon, and I would really love to have one of these at some point, hopefully soon. Wrapping up here at Fuel Fed, a lot of cars have already left, as is the 318 with all the M3 kit, which is pretty cool, as well as this. This is a Citroen 2CV van, and if you guys want to know how much horsepower this thing makes, I'll give you guys a second to guess because it is an absolutely astronomical amount. So, okay, you put in your guesses, excellent. So it makes 9 horsepower, a full 9 horsepower. This thing is truly the fastest car of all time. Just leaving Fuel Fed now. Not that many exotics out today because of the weather. It's just April in Chicago for you. But I will still fulfill what I said in the title. I'm still going to go look for some hypercars. Not going to be able to spot anything today, but that's okay. There is a place in the area that I do enjoy visiting that has plenty of hypercars. If you're looking for hypercars in the Chicagoland area and don't know where to find them, this is a good place to look. We are here at Ferrari of Lake Forest. Now, it is closed to the general public, and it is also Sunday, so it's closed in general, but you could do a lot of looking through the glass and just seeing what's here. So let's find out what's here. Don't know how well you can see it, but here is an 812 GTS in Giallo Triplo Strato. It is a triple layer yellow paint. I've seen this on many cars before, most notably on a LaFerrari Aperta, and it is an absolutely gorgeous color. It's very, very deep, very, very nice. One of my favorite Ferrari colors of all time, and I have a huge soft spot for yellow Ferraris, and this is easily the best yellow that Ferrari makes. We also have a Monza SP2 right there, in black with a red interior. I've seen this car a couple times before, and it is a really nice spec. You got the red stripe over the hood. This is the open top speedster version of the 812. I think it's one of the Ferrari's best looking cars in the modern era because it's just the styling is so nice. And a lot of those cues are now being translated over to the Roma and the Puro Sangue as well. But it's a really cool car. I love seeing these, and it never really gets old. Here we also have a gray SF90. Now, my opinion of these cars is kind of split because on one hand, it's really cool, it's really comfy, really fast. But on the other hand, it's not necessarily a car that I would want to buy for the amount of money it's worth. The low of these cars at the moment is around $750,000. And for that, I could buy a lot of other things, like most notably like a 458 and a Murcielago, and just like have a nice little collection for the price of one of these. But I can see why people do buy these. These are really freaking fast. I've ridden in a couple of these, and in qualifying mode, it really kicks you in the back, and it is such a cool car to experience. But I don't know if I would ever own one of these. Maybe if I had a big collection and a bunch of other cars, but it's not necessarily a car that I would go to if I had this sort of money to spend on a car. But regardless, it is still really cool. And in gray, I really like the gray on this car. I don't know which shade of gray this is. It looks like Grigio Ferro, which in light has a little bit of bronze undertone to it, and I really do like that color a lot. I've seen a couple of SF90s in that color, and it is a really nice color, and it suits the car really well. It was the launch color for the Fiorano car, as you can see here. Here we have a new Ford GT, which I think is pretty ironic sitting in the Ferrari dealer. Now, I realized editing my last video, the part 2 of the Miami vlog, if you haven't watched that, go check it out, that I actually walked by quite a couple of those cars and didn't really say anything about them, and I felt kind of bad because I do really like these cars. They're really cool, really on the edge of modern hypercar technology. And of course, the story of winning Le Mans, the 50th anniversary of the original GT40 win. Really cool car. I do love these a lot. I'm not a huge Ford guy per se, but I can appreciate a car that beats the Europeans at their own game. And I do like this car because it does just that very, very well. We also have a cool little lineup over here, starting with this Ferrari 488 GT Modificata. It's essentially a modified GT3 car for customers to buy. So anybody with money and want to take a Ferrari on a racetrack can buy one of these cars, and it's very close to the GT3 car. It's not identical. There are some differences because this car doesn't need to adhere to regulations because they're not going to be racing this car. Next to that, we have this Ferrari 458 Speciale Aperta. This is my second favorite Ferrari of all time. I love the 458 platform, and it is an absolutely legendary car. I love these cars in yellow. It's got the blue and silver stripes. I can only imagine what it's like to drive one of these cars. I would love to have one day. 4.5 liter V8 making 597 horsepower, open top, revving up to 9,000 RPM. I can only imagine what this thing sounds like. And rounding out this lineup, you can just see that Koenigsegg Regera. Now, this car is called the Raven. This was the first customer Regera in the United States. It is a black carbon car with red stripes. I'm going to put up some pictures here, some old pictures I took of the car many years ago. It's such a cool spec, but at the same time, I also think it's a little bit boring. Personally, I wouldn't spec it this way, but it is really, really cool, and it really does fit the Raven name. And that pretty much rounds it out for today. I'm sorry that this isn't as action-packed as some of my previous vlogs, but I did want to get some content out, and this is more sort of a filler episode. I also wanted to thank you guys for all the support you've been giving me over the last couple videos. Last video, I thanked you guys for 100 subscribers, and now we're approaching 130. I know that doesn't seem like a big number on YouTube, but to me, it genuinely means a lot. For somebody who's wanted to create content for so long and is finally doing it, and the number is going up, it's such a great feeling. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you to all those liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing with your friends. It feels so amazing. Until then, remember to like this video, comment, and subscribe. More action-packed videos are to come, I promise. Don't worry about that. But until then, this is me, Patrick, the King of Cars. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.